Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that this video related to topics on The Legend of Zelda was made without me seeing any of the leaked art book for Tears of the Kingdom. I developed a tactic by asking questions to a trusted friend who has seen the spoilers, but those questions are only related to the topics I created for these videos. I do not plan on seeing any of that art for myself. I made a video going further in detail on this, link in the description below. Now, on with this video. Hey guys, time for another video. This video isn't like the usual Zelda theory and speculation videos that I make, as of course my videos are mainly on those topics. This video today is about my personal thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom's new price tag. For those who don't know, Tears of the Kingdom's price tag is $70. Before I even knew this, my expectations for Tears of the Kingdom were already very high. I began to believe that my expectations wouldn't be met, and that led me into doubting the profit that Tears of the Kingdom can make. I made a huge video on this and how it connects to Prime 4 and releasing with the next Switch or next gen console or whatever it is, so please check that out if you haven't already. While that video came out before this most previous direct, it still is pretty relevant, and the only real difference is that I thought Prime Remastered would come way later, as we all did. But now, Tears of the Kingdom had a very promising trailer in that direct, but obviously we found out online that it will be $70. So while my opinions might shift to new conclusions, there are still some concerns I have with this game. Thus, the bar for my expectations has risen even higher. I'll structure this video with my concerns first, followed by my three main expectations, being overworld expansion, story evolution, and finally, gameplay evolution. So, before I go into those, here are my concerns. I'm gonna rant for a bit. It's not a big rant, but the fact that we have to pay $10 more for a game that reuses assets and had more than 6 years of development time is pretty absurd and upsetting. Let's not forget that Tears of the Kingdom reuses game engine, physics, object data, character models, more. And of course the biggest one, reuses the same main overworld, the same Hyrule. The aspect of self-discovery that made Breath of the Wild so grand is not present for most of the world. So there's a lot to rely on with these new sky and underground areas. I'll explain that further in the video. But now, this game has had more than 6 years from the last mainline new game release, which was Breath of the Wild on March 3rd, 2017. And now we're getting Tears of the Kingdom on May 12th, 2023. That is 6 years, 2 months, and 9 days. For a game that reuses a lot of assets from its previous entry, like, come on. Now, I get it, 2020 and how it affected the world was a big deal, don't get me wrong, so I'm going to take off 1 year and 2 months off of development time. So take away 14 months, Tears of the Kingdom is still over a 5-year release from Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom was supposed to be an evolution of DLC ideas for Breath of the Wild that again reuses assets. And we are paying $10 more than the original game. So now a question comes to mind. Is this game really going to be that ambitious and offer that much more than Breath of the Wild or most Nintendo Switch games? Or is Nintendo giving us the low blow for a profit margin to stay ahead during inflation? Either way, I expect a lot from Tears of the Kingdom. So let's get into my expectations. My first and biggest and main concern is the main overworld. All Zelda games provide some sort of new exploration, and we need to see it here in Tears of the Kingdom. While we can have faith that the sky and underground will be what we need for that exploration, I expect it to be more than just one layer of sky islands and a couple of caves. I expect the underground system to be bigger than that of Twilight Princess's cave and grotto system at least. The underground system should add up to at least half of Breath of the Wild's entire map, or even more if the Sky Islands don't offer too much exploration, or vice versa. Speaking of Sky Islands, how much of them are there and how high do they go? One great mystery is how high the Y-axis will be. I do expect at least 2 more layers of Sky Islands above the Sky Islands we already have. So we would have Sky Islands at like about the height of Mount Lanayru. Then Sky Islands significantly higher than that. And then finally, higher than that, the highest Sky Islands. That way, there's like a huge, that way if you're like at the most high Sky Island and you like skydive or you free fall, there's a lot of time until you get to the ground. So here, I'm going to provide some sort of visual representation so you guys can understand. So the higher we go, the more I begin to think about something else. What about the horizontal expansion of the map? If I paraglide off a Sky Island towards the edges of the map, will there be an annoying barrier again? You know, that barrier. I thought that in Breath of the Wild, if we could see it, we can go to it. That was a quote from Aonuma or Miyamoto. Clearly that wasn't entirely true in Breath of the Wild. Now, in Tears of the Kingdom, I expect somewhat of a horizontal expansion, especially if the sky and underground areas both lack. I pointed out in a way older video that the pause menu of Breath of the Wild has the cursor hit the top of the screen when it hits the top of the map, but it doesn't hit the bottom of the map when the cursor goes as low as it can. If they won't expand further than that, or the desert, or the north of the map, they gotta at least expand something, so I expect the ocean to be expanded further. How fitting would it be to have Sky Islands that reach far across the ocean? Make sure not to fall. I mean, it would be really cool. If not one of these expectations are met, you know, with the sky and the underground being bigger and not just a couple of caves, or if there's no horizontal expansion at all, then I absolutely cannot give the game a 10 out of 10. No way. So the story aspect of this game needs to be better than what we got in Breath of the Wild. Not only myself, but other YouTubers pointed out that Breath of the Wild's fragmented story was something that shouldn't happen again, especially when the story fragments were discovered alongside discovering the world. This is a different situation. There is a new threat, and while it would be cool to see memories of Link, Zelda, Ganondorf, or their past selves, I expect elements from sequential storytelling of previous Zelda games to be present. I would even be okay with a hybrid method where some memories like story fragments exist, but there is also an arcing story that grows as the journey progresses. A pure memory system with only small real-time cutscenes again is not ambitious. We need something better. Finally, we need a true gameplay evolution. Fix breakable weapons and upgrade them. In Age of Calamity, blacksmiths existed in Hyrule, so now that there's been some time for reconstruction, blacksmiths should come back. Now, one thing is pretty much confirmed: crafting vehicles. I doubt that all cars, hot air balloons, and hovercrafts would all look the same in the trailer. So I believe there is some sort of level of custom creativity that we will see. I expect this. I would be disappointed if there was a specific set of blueprints that makes each vehicle look the same. You know, it would no. Last but not least, let's talk about Link's new powers. To start, these new patents would be super revolutionary if you really think about them, especially if it can lead to sky combat. That's using arrows while free falling in different positions. This is a huge deal and really makes the game bigger. I expect this. This is a must-have. I also expect this game to have some differences from Breath of the Wild, not just building on existing abilities. For example, I would be down to trade most of the climbing stamina for Link to be able to spear his hand into the walls and hold a position and regain his stamina from there. Or just use a hookshot as the Masterworks concept art literally showed us. So I expect this game to also not make Breath of the Wild 1 feel useless. I mean, for those who haven't played Breath of the Wild, you know, if you skip Breath of the Wild and you go straight into Tears of the Kingdom, why would you want to go back to Breath of the Wild 1? Obviously there needs to be a reason other than story and oh, I'm a new Zelda fan, so I gotta play every Zelda game. Other than that, there should be some sort of reason to go back to Breath of the Wild 1. So taking away an ability and putting another in its place is a great way to do that. Well guys, I think I raised the bar pretty high for this game. Any more expectations would be quite the list. But still, I think it's important for us to have some expectations if we're paying $70 for a game that, one more time, heavily reuses assets from its predecessor. So guys, what are your expectations for Tears of the Kingdom? Perhaps there's something that I didn't think about, so please bring it up. Or am I asking for too much? Is this even reasonable? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more Zelda theories. I got a big one coming up that you don't want to miss. So subscribe to stay updated, and give this video a like. I would appreciate that. Hit the notification bell to stay notified, and be ready for the next one. Take care, my friends, and peace out.